Hey guys, this is SF and a special video, and to commemorate 1,000 subscribers I am going to show you my NA and JP box. This one is the JP version, and of course I really like to thank all of you that have subscribed and have watched my videos. It only took me about a year, but it's not a relatively popular game, Monster Strike, in terms of the Western community, so as long as the game grows, of course my channel will grow as well, and all the other stuff that I do. So my JP box, of course, there is an IEP. I do buy orbs on this account, so it's going to be really long. So just going to start rolling with it. In terms of fire monsters, of course, Avalon. Probably none of you have seen it, but I did clear Avalon in my stream, of course, but that didn't give me a drop. I did clear it after the second time, and it got me one drop. I got really lucky on that one, on that run as well. If you remember the stream, I did a match shot on the last bar that did 3 million. That did 3 million or 2 million. That basically took out half or most of her HP bar on the last one. In terms of the second session where I did get her, I had Sinbad, the evolved Sinbad, with a sword item on top of him, and then he was in completely horizontal with the weak spot of Avalon, and of course I used a strike shot, and that basically cleared up the whole bar. Sinbad's evolved strike shot is the wall bouncing one, so like Hunter King or Saigo. So basically it basically one shot killed him. And another one I really want to talk about is, of course, Athos and Shinji Athos. Probably one of the best supports out there, just because recovery adds no damage wall, and of course the synchro can block some attacks. Strike shot is the same as Little Lady, Dear Lota, not Little Lady, Dear Lota, and speed up is also good. Although the blast bump might be a little bit better, but speed up is not that bad as well. But in terms of Eva monsters, I max lucked everything. I max lucked all the extremes. I didn't do a luck 90 on the Savage one, but you know, it's okay. But really going through my fire monsters, because there is a lot to go through. But Himiko, I got her on a 10 shot very far back, but I probably didn't get her last time I showed you my box. I'm pretty sure she just started to come out, and then I didn't really I got this last summer, I think on August. It was part of a 10 shot during the Legend series, and I got 5 stars in that 10 shot. I got Athos, normal Athos, or Athos, I don't know, I'll say Athos for now. Himiko, Hikari, Kali, and I keep forgetting the fifth one. I don't really remember the fifth one, but yeah, it was pretty awkward and pretty awesome. But fire monsters, I did get Oshlis during the Eva collab, one of the non-Eva 5-star that I got. But pretty much nothing really that special to talk about. I did this is the evolved version of Margaret Alpha. No warp, no gravity berry, good for Kushinada. And then Trident Laser L is also good in terms of coverage. Better than the one-way laser, but you know, especially for monsters that have really big bosses with really big just like hitboxes, so you can hit all three. So all three can hit the boss. Whereas one-way laser, if the laser is not in line with the weak spot, then you basically doesn't do that as much as a trident laser. Because trident laser, you just go right under the boss, and then the 3 lasers will deal a lot of damage, and it will hit the weak spot no matter what. And then Roma, I did have 2. I ascend 1, and this one's the evolved one. Why? Because of the Tower of Champions, the 33rd one. I'm even debating on converting my ascendant one to evolve. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't, but I don't really have much use for this version that much. Kushinada, I have Gilgamesh to cover for that one, and I don't have that much no pierce, no damage wall, fire monsters in the. But I guess with Avalon, I can probably don't need to convert the ascended version to evolve. Next one is my water monsters. I guess Ibaraki Doji Alpha. This one's the evolved version. Some people like the ascended version just because of the volatile blast and but I'm just gonna go for the ascended version, the evolved version because of the homing. And I did evolve the 2 Shinjis. I got one before. I got the one from the first time Eva came out, and then I got one after the second time. And I evolved both just for Tower Champions, the 31st floor, because that dungeon is effing hard, and I need good hatcher monsters for that. Of course, a farmable option, probably the best one, is Tada Kiyomori, just because of her piercing strike shot for the last bar. Very, very strong, and probably can deal like half of Asha's HP on the last bar. But Undine, I want to ascend her just for Avalon, because I don't have much no warp bounce monsters, and her one-way laser is really, really strong. It's the 34k one-way laser, and I don't really have much use for the evolved version that much. It's pretty much for this girl, pretty much bring her out when I feel like bringing her out type of thing. Although it sounds really, really bad and awful, but when you have a really giant box, and you want to farm, she's not the best in terms of farming. Even if it's a fire, no damage wall, no warp dungeon, you'll probably bring like Yamatos and like Daigo Kutens and stuff like that. So yeah. And Shilius, why so Shilius? I got this from the Eva Hatcher as well. Probably gonna evolve him for Murasame, although I don't really need to. I'll probably just like stack Max Lux and stuff like that. But you know, I do have 3 Collies. One I ascended one, and one is the evolved one. This one is the Minesweeper No Warp version. Probably just gonna keep it just in case for future potential. But that's basically it for water monsters. There's not much to really go on about, and of course I'm kind of gonna want to speed this through, because my JP box is really extensive. Next one, Wood Monsters Hunter King. This is the new form, and it has Stalkin Speed. Is this Speed in the any version? I'm not sure of the translation, but I think it's Kin Speed. And that's an S, and then Sidekick for A++, not A+, but A++. Although I want an S, A++ is only 15%, whereas S is 20%. But nothing really changed for Hunter King. The poison is relatively strong, just to clear off some mobs. It surprisingly clear off a lot of mobs when you don't really want to focus mobs that much. So by time you'll probably die off while you're clearing off the boss. So it's really good that way. And of course, Mustang, really good for Bisha Mountain. This one has Mend, really good for Bisha Mountain because there is no hearts in there, and you can only rely on healing walls. So Mend is really good for Bisha Mountain. So I guess Mustang is my Bisha Mountain monster. Next one, I have 2 Benkeis. One, I didn't really wanted to ascend 2 of them. This one I'll probably use for Tower of Champions as well. Works really well on the 32nd floor, and synergizes really well with Krishna's Plasma just because of the Pierce. But everything else is met when you compare it to the Ascended version, which is a wall bouncing, no damage, no warp, Minesweeper, and this guy is met as well. But yeah, I did make 3 Marshis because during that time I thought Marshi was like the OP impossible, and then Daigo Kuten came, and then like that kind of fell off. Basilisk, I made 2 just for the 25th floor of the tower. You probably see me do that. Gulliver, this one's the evolved one for Bisha Mountain. I'll probably ascend him for future, for just for future viability because the flight and no warp is really strong. This guy has strike haste, but it's not that useful for a command strike shot. I did make 2 Kushalins, one's for just like Benkei, one's for the tower, one's for general use. Although this Kushalin is really good for what you call it, for the 25th floor, the 30th floor, really good, just because of the all null strike shot works really well, and there's abundance of both gravity barriers and damage walls in that dungeon. But that's basically it in terms of wood monsters. There's not much to really go on about. Of course, Belphegor, I did Ascender, but you've probably seen that during the last video. I got it relatively early on. Next one, light monsters, of course, Babel, or I don't know how you say it, but I did keep 4 for just to keep it in stock in case I want to make multiples of it. I probably won't need to make multiples of it, but Minesweeper M, Demon Slayer M, one way lock on, one way laser XL, and then counter mode strike shot. Really good for Akala if you need a monster for Akala, but I guess it's kind of counterintuitive because Akala is a really good monster for the 30th floor, which first gets you that first gets you this monster. But some people really don't like this monster that much just because it's not really good no warp monster and no like null ability, and of course power type's not that strong. And counter mode in terms of counter mode, not that strong either, but my only reasoning is because getting him is not that difficult in terms of the overall general of the game. Like, most people can clear the 30th floor if they play long enough. But and in terms of I guess I can show you, but in terms of materials, actual materials, let's see, materials. But in terms of materials, it only requires 1 divine shard, so it's not like an impossible monster where it's requires 2 divine shards and then like more stones and shards. It only requires 1 to evolve, so that's my reasoning why it's not that strong. It's not in terms of impossible monsters, but kind of want it to be a little bit stronger. But you know, there's probably going to be something, and you can, as long as time progresses, it's going to be a max luck, so you can max luck it. So I guess that's why they kind of nerfed it a little bit. These are not the wrong section, but I guess they kind of created with like in terms of in that gray zone between impossible and extreme, because this guy is probably better than most extremes, but really weaker against the impossibles. Next one, Asuka Udi, really strong support monster. No gravity barrier, and of course strike shot can increase the attack and is a command strike shot all in one. Probably the prize of the Eva collab, but viability wise, probably not as much as Kaolushi, just because you don't have a carry. Kaolushi, if you send Kaolushi, then you probably have a good monster for the early and mid game, whereas I'll probably go on to him later on. But anyways, 2 Snow Whites alphas. This one's the ascendant version. Strike K is not that powerful in terms of her strike shot because it's really short, but Demon Slayer M and then no damage wall. And then of course Poison Mist is really strong, 75k damage in terms of poison. This one is the evolved version, so full resistance, no warp, 8 turn strike shot, which deals about 800k on the dark monster on the weak spot, and of course the spread pierce destruction. And this one has Stalkin speed, so not that strong because she is a pierce monster. But who cannot talk about Arthur, probably one of the most versatile monster in the game. Just because of the double nulls and the mob clear. This one has a psychic, which is really good, and the strike shot is also strong as well. It can deal about over 1 million on any monster as long as you can hit the weak spots correctly. And Hakua, I did not beat the dungeon. This came off of the max luck bonus. It only took 30 max lucks, but Minesweeper, no gravity barrier, and the Clone SS is really strong as well. And Rebounding Laser is good for damage. But the dungeon itself, I've ran it I think 4 or 5 times so far, and I probably lost really early. I didn't even get to the boss stage just because I don't have the monsters for it. Not because I don't have the monsters in my box, it's more like I don't run with them in terms of Hakua. Daigo Extend really strong. I did make 2 Juliets. What else is there? Chio, I Mekamorni, kind of in my low priority list in terms of ascending. I'm just waiting on Gigamantis only, but I probably missed like a lot of Gigamantis sections. I got 2 Mozarts. I'll probably evolve this Mozart just because I want both of them. And then this Beelzebub is probably going to be evolved. But that's basically it for light monsters. Let's look at the dark monsters. I did roll 3 Kawalushis. I saved 2 for Ascend and 1 for Evolve. Why? In terms of people that have 1, it really depends on your state of the game, how far you are. I would recommend the Ascended version if you are trying to get monsters in the early game, just like try to get extreme monsters, because this guy will be more viable in more dungeons than the Evolve version. But this guy later on in the game, when your boxes get better with more Hatcher monsters, with more extremes, more max lux and all that stuff, this guy will fall down really fast. Just because the strike shot is not that strong in terms of later on when you kind of don't stack all dark monsters or stack evil monsters. And of course the energy circle is not as strong as like Lucy, the original Lucy. Why I really like the evolved version is just because of the damage output he can put out for a no warp monster. In terms of no warp monsters, this guy is probably the strongest in terms of damage. I don't think there's any monster that is a no warp that deals as much damage as this guy. Maybe Daigo Extend in terms of mob clear, wave clear stuff, but in terms of boss damage, I don't think anybody can top this guy in terms of no warps. I do want a sidekick for this guy, and strike shot is a meteor, and it's an attack down. It is a paralyzed meteor. Ray, you might seen some videos of Ray like one-shotting enemies with her strike shot. I kind of want to do that. With her strike shot. It deals a lot of damage. Trine Laser is also good. Of course, the poison's also strong for some mob clear, but no damage roll. I've seen her like wrecking Asha in like one shot, like probably just finish off the last bar in like one shot with her strike shot. So yeah, really awesome. Let's see what else is there. I got Ryu from the Street Fighter collaboration. Although I do have a class kin strength for a monster that is for the only monsters that I have in terms of fighter. Well, I do have like the farmables and like the 4 stars, but I'll probably switch it off one time sooner or later, but I probably won't because I'm really lazy on Ableberry farming. I got 2 Muramasas, one from Max Luck, one from just getting it. What else is there? That's basically it for dark monsters. I did have 2 independents, so one's ascended. I think in terms of independence, later on in the game, I think the evolved version will have really less use, just because there's better Fiend Slayers out there in Hatcher monsters. Although there won't be like Fiend Slayer L. Well, actually, Emerald is a Fiend Slayer L, and then she has a Minesweeper, so that's an extra null. But anyways, there's not gonna be any like there's gonna be gimmicks, and it's gonna be more annoying in terms of for independents to actually put out damage. It's not gonna be just like avoiding damage walls and sticking near a wall with like gravity barriers and stuff like that. So in terms of future, I think Independence the Ascendant form will get more use just because she has a no warp, and there's only one dungeon that's really good for Ascended Independence right now, but probably in the future there's going to be more for her later on. That's just my prediction. I'm pretty sure I won't see this Independence later on. But yeah, the power creep is getting really, really strong, especially for some of the older monsters. Even Lucy's getting a little bit of a little bit of a nerf in terms of dungeons that she can run. Lately, there's a lot of mines and warp dungeons. Kind of nerfs Arthur too, but you know, they're kind of power creeping really, really fast and really, really strong. So later on, probably in like 6 months time, there's Lucy, Arthur, and maybe even God Striker won't be that top 3 in people's minds. But either way, when that time comes, it will come. These games always do that. There's no one OP monster. There's no one OP monster for like the whole state, for the whole game. There is a meta game. There is like some strong monsters in this current meta, which is Lucy, Arthur, God Striker. There's of course meta monsters in the past where it was like Zeus, Harley, and Margaret. And then of course you see how far we have progressed during that time in Monster Strike. But either way, let's look at my max luck monsters. Max luck monsters, going all the way up top. There is a lot. I have 33. I think I have 33. But I just like max luck all the recent monsters that are out. Starting from like the Lupin collaboration. So I basically max luck all the new extremes that were out past the Lupin collaboration. That was like in October. So I got like all the Evo monsters max locked. I got Foxmel max locked. I got the Steampunk Hero monsters max locked. I did finish the shards, the Dream Shard monsters up. Lulum, Couch Z, and then Cthulhu. It took me like 2,000 shards, so that's wasn't that great in terms of my life wasted. But either way, it was kind of worth it. Of course, Cybele is a really strong no warp monster, probably one of the better farmable no warp monsters because her bump combo was really, really strong. But in terms of work in progress, Princess Takayasha, I just evolved her just to hold more Takayashas. And then Princess Ironfang, same reason, but I'm probably gonna keep her as evolve. But not very much in terms of work in progress. I'm kind of staying up for the year end in terms of there's some really crazy hatcher that comes out. I guess I'll show you my stats. I did break 365. Like I said in the Evo collaboration hatcher, I said I was gonna hit 365, and I'm at 368. In terms of monsters used, as you can see, Ghost, Eva, Low Lady are pretty much my top 3 and probably will be my top 3 just because these 3 monsters were used in normal dungeon farming when I'm ranking up and all that stuff. Of course, Arthur recently gets added on in the normal dungeon thing. I don't know why Kushinada's that high up. I don't really remember like really using her. Probably like early game, but didn't really use her much for like farming purposes. I guess maybe for the Tread Lightly series I used her, but you know. And as you can see, my first max luck, the Nico Televi, is up there, and my first 2 luck 90s, Jabanero, and the Videron, the Christmas Videron, are still up there. But yeah, 33 max lucks. I'm 17 away from the 50, and I did get the Hakua from the 30 as well. And in terms of striker bonuses, I do get a reset on striker bonuses. And right now I am at, let's see, where is the mail thing? Oh, here it is. And right now I'm at 79, so I have 21 more to go, so I'll be at like 60, 70 orbs. I'll be at like 70 orbs by the year end, and of course the tower does come back in December, so that's about 130 to save up for the year end. I'll probably use some to max luck the new monsters, but I'll probably have around 100 by the year end, just from farming, just from like the tower and the reset. So it's really good. But that's pretty much it for me. I hope you guys like this, and it is very long. It's a long video. My JP box is really extensive just because I do use money for orbs and to roll and to max luck. But you don't really have to do all this. I do have a lot of trouble just picking out monsters from time to time, and I really feel bad just because there is like that set group of monsters that's really good, and then I kind of want to like do less OP monsters for those dungeons from time to time, but I don't really find the time that much to actually play Monster Strike that much, just because of work and all that stuff. But that's basically it for me, and of course thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers, and hopefully many more to come. I hope you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.